Hello, welcome back to the channel. So today's story, Donald Trump has announced that he's going to designate Antifa as a major terrorist organisation. Sounds dramatic, doesn't it? But can he actually do that? And more importantly, should he? Get comfy, because in this video we're about to have a look into this, the politics, the law, the reality on both sides of the Atlantic, and why this might not be such a crazy idea. The law may not agree with him, but history just might. Let's do this. While visiting the UK, Trump took to Truth Social, because he owns it, and declared that Antifa will be labelled a major terrorist organisation. Now, Antifa isn't like the IRA or Al-Qaeda. They don't have a head office or a secretary answering the phones or even a pension plan. It's more of a decentralised, loose movement. But don't let the word loose fool you. Behind the anti-fascist branding, there are documented cases of activists using black bloc tactics, dressing in black, masking identities, and moving in packs to cause disruption. In the US, you've got court cases of Molotov cocktails being made and hurled at police during riots. In Portland, over £2 million in damage was linked to rioters, officials described as Antifa. While here in Britain, well, we've seen our own examples. In 2008, so-called Antifa activists disrupted the Red, White and Blue Festival, vandalising buildings, vehicles and padlocking gates. In more recent counter-protests, especially in London and Brighton, we've seen arrests, assaults and public order offences where anti-fascist demonstrators crossed the line into intimidation and violence. So no, this isn't just teenagers waving placards. In practice, the tactics often look more like coercion, destruction and organised street violence, which the last time I checked is a bit more than just protesting. So, the legal reality. Here's where things get tricky. In the US, there's a formal process for designating foreign terrorist organisations like Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Hezbollah, but there isn't a neat little legal mechanism for declaring domestic groups as terrorists. The Constitution, freedom of speech, assembly, due process, all those boring bits of democracy get in the way. So Trump can't just snap his fingers and go, boom, they are terrorists. But here's the interesting bit. America already has the RICO Act, originally used in 1970 to take down the mafia. RICO lets prosecutors go after decentralised criminal networks by treating loosely connected individuals as part of a single criminal enterprise. And when you've got activists coordinating across states, funding bail networks and showing up at pre-planned riots, well, suddenly it looks a lot like racketeering. Using RICO doesn't require a neat terrorist organisation label. It just requires a pattern of organised crime. And in case anyone says, but these are just activists, remember, the mafia also insisted they were just businessmen. Everyone's innocent until the subpoenas arrive. Of course, Trump being Trump, there's political theatre too. He loves an enemy. Hillary, China, CNN, wind turbines, and now Antifa. But unlike wind turbines, Antifa has teeth, mostly their own. There are documented cases of assaults, arson, destruction, and yes, that makes for great headlines and rally points. So, is it theatre? Absolutely, but it's theatre with a fire burning on the stage, literally in some cases. Personally, I find it interesting timing that Trump chose to publish this Truth Social post during his time with Starmer. Don't forget, Starmer cut his teeth as a member of the Communist Party while at university. Labour fund unite and stand up to racism. Most of their activists are Labour, Green and Liberal voters. They are the hard left. They call normal patriotic Brits Nazis, scum, and telling us that these are not our own streets. Now, why should Brits care what Trump says about Antifa? Well, because these tactics don't stop at the water's edge. In Britain, we already have prescription powers. Groups like Palestine Action were banned because they crossed the line into violent extremism. But those were structured organisations. Antifa is more like a fluid. It's a mindset as much as a movement. That makes it hard to pin down, but no less concerning when it spills into violence. And here's where we need to preempt the obvious counter-argument. People will say, hang on, anti-fascism has been normal since World War II. What's wrong with opposing fascists? And of course, opposing fascism is good. It's the very definition of civilised politics. But here's the catch. If your tactic is to label everyone you disagree with as a fascist or Nazi scum, and then you justify violence, intimidation, or censorship against them, well, that's not anti-fascism anymore. That's fascism with better branding. It's one thing to resist actual Nazis. It's another to decide that your opponents deserve bricks through their windows because they're on the wrong side. At that point, you're not defending democracy. You're imitating the authoritarianism that you claim to fight. So is Trump's move a bold strike against extremism, or just bluster with a side order of legal confusion? Personally, I think the legalities are messy, but the principle that politically motivated violence should be treated with the seriousness of terrorism is hard to argue with. I've said for a long time on this channel that I would like to see Antifa proscribed as a domestic terrorist organisation. But, and it's a big but. So what do you think? Should Antifa be considered terrorists, or is that a step too far? Drop your thoughts below. And while you're down there, hit the like, subscribe and ring the bell, or I'll have to designate you as a disappointingly passive YouTube viewer. Stay weird, stay wonderful, and I'll see you when you're older. Take care, bye-bye.